Greetings, esteemed viewers. Today, we delve into the intricate life and works of Ramon Llull, a polymath whose influence spans philosophy, theology, poetry, and the early foundations of computation theory. Born around 1232 in the Kingdom of Majorca, Llull's pursuit of knowledge led him to develop the art, a universal system aimed at proving Christian doctrines through logic and reason. His endeavors not only bridged cultural and religious divides, but also laid groundwork that prefigured modern social choice theory and computational logic. Join us as we explore Llull's profound contributions and their lasting impact on various fields of study. Ramon Llull was born into a family of affluent Barcelona patricians who settled in Palma, Majorca, following its conquest by James I of Aragon in 1229. The multicultural environment of Majorca, with its significant Muslim and Jewish populations, profoundly influenced Llull's early exposure to diverse philosophies and cultures. In 1257, Llull married Blanca Picani, and they had two children, Domènec and Magdalena. Despite his familial commitments, he led the hedonistic life of a troubadour, composing poems and songs that celebrated courtly love, a common pursuit among the Catalan nobility of the time. His early years were marked by secular pursuits and immersion in the arts. However, the coexistence of Christian, Muslim, and Jewish communities in Majorca provided a unique backdrop that later fueled his passion for interfaith dialogue and missionary work. This multicultural setting planted the seeds for his lifelong quest to bridge religious differences through logical discourse and philosophical reasoning. In 1263, at the age of 31, Llull experienced a series of 5 visions of the crucified Christ, which dramatically redirected the course of his life. These mystical experiences compelled him to abandon his secular lifestyle and dedicate himself to the service of God. Llull interpreted these visions as divine mandates, instilling in him 3 core objectives: to surrender his life for the glory of God, to convert non-Christians, particularly Muslims, to Christianity through reasoned argumentation rather than force, to compose the ultimate book that would refute the errors of unbelievers using irrefutable logic. Emulating the example of Saint Francis of Assisi, Llull sold his possessions and embarked on pilgrimages to holy sites such as Saint Mary of Rocamadour and Santiago de Compostela. Upon returning to Majorca, he purchased a Muslim slave to teach him Arabic, thereby immersing himself in Islamic theology and philosophy. For the next 9 years, Llull devoted himself to rigorous study and ascetic contemplation, mastering Latin and Arabic texts and familiarizing himself with the works of notable Islamic scholars like Al-Ghazali. This period of intense intellectual and spiritual development culminated in the formation of his vision for the art, a universal logical system aimed at demonstrating the truth of Christian doctrine. Llull's commitment to engaging with Islamic thought not only enriched his own philosophical perspectives, but also underscored his dedication to intercultural and interreligious understanding. Llull's most significant contribution, the art, Ars, was conceived as a revolutionary intellectual system designed to prove the veracity of Christian beliefs through logical and combinatorial methods. The initial version of the art, known as the Quaternary phase, circa 1274 to 1290, is characterized by its reliance on groups of 4 elements. Central works from this phase include the Ars Compendiosa Inveniendi Veritatem and the Ars Demonstrativa. The system employed a set of 16 fundamental principles, or dignities, representing divine attributes such as goodness, greatness, and eternity. These were symbolized by letters B through R and visualized using intricate diagrams comprising 12 figures. The quaternary art utilized combinatorial techniques to explore and prove theological truths, with figures like figure T introducing relational principles, minority, majority, equality, that facilitated complex logical operations. This phase emphasized aligning the powers of the soul, will, intellect, and memory with the logical processes, differentiating Llull's system from traditional Aristotelian logic by integrating psychological dimensions into logical reasoning. Around 1290, Llull revised his system, initiating the ternary phase, exemplified in works like the Ars Inventiva Veritatis, and culminating in the Ars Generalis Ultima, 1308, and its abridged version, Ars Brevis. This iteration reduced the foundational elements to groups of three, aligning with the Trinitarian concept central to Christian theology. The ternary art featured 9 divine principles and 9 relational principles, streamlining the system while enhancing its complexity and applicability. The figures were condensed to 4 primary ones, and the combinatorial processes were refined. This phase focused on demonstrating how all knowledge and truth could be synthesized through triadic relationships, reflecting the inherent threeness of the divine and the universe. The ternary art marked a significant evolution in Llull's thought, showcasing his adaptability and commitment to a logical system that mirrored his theological convictions. A pivotal addition to the art was the introduction of correlatives, first appearing in the Lectura Superfiguras Artis Demonstrativa, circa 1285 to 1287. The doctrine of correlatives posits that every entity consists of a threefold structure: agent, patient, and act. For instance, the principle of goodness encompasses that which does good, agent, that which receives good, patient, and the act of doing good, act. Llull developed a specialized system using Latin suffixes to express these correlatives, e.g., bonificans, bonificatum, bonificar. This framework allowed for a nuanced analysis of divine attributes and their manifestations, reinforcing the interconnectedness and equivalence of the principles within the Godhead. The correlatives not only facilitated proofs of theological concepts like the Trinity and the Incarnation, but also underscored the universal applicability of his logical system across all levels of reality. This innovation exemplified Llull's integration of linguistic precision with philosophical depth. Llull's dedication to dialogue and conversion led him to advocate fervently for the study of foreign languages, particularly Arabic, Hebrew, and Aramaic, to effectively engage with Muslims and Jews. Recognizing the limitations of forceful conversion, he emphasized reasoned discourse grounded in a deep understanding of the other's beliefs. In 1276, with the support of King James II of Majorca, he established a language school at Miramar for Franciscan missionaries, aiming to equip them with the linguistic and cultural tools necessary for meaningful engagement. Llull traveled extensively across Europe and the Mediterranean, tirelessly seeking support from popes, kings, and scholars to establish further institutions dedicated to missionary education. His efforts culminated in the Council of Vienne in 1311, which decreed the establishment of chairs in Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic at prominent universities such as Paris, Oxford, Bologna, and Salamanca. Despite his progressive approach to interfaith dialogue, Llull held complex views on religious tolerance. While advocating for intellectual exchange, he also called for the expulsion of Jews who refused conversion, a stance that influenced subsequent policies of European monarchs. His missionary journeys included multiple trips to North Africa, particularly Tunis, where he engaged in theological debates with Muslim scholars. Llull's approach underscored his belief in the power of rational argumentation over coercion, reflecting a nuanced understanding of missionary work that combined scholarly rigor with spiritual zeal. Llull was an extraordinarily prolific writer, producing over 250 works across various genres and languages, including Catalan, Latin, and possibly Arabic. To make his complex ideas accessible, Llull composed dialogues that dramatize the procedures of the art. The Book of the Gentile and the Three Wise Men is a notable example, where a Gentile encounters a Christian, a Jew, and a Muslim engaging in profound theological discussions. Through symbolic trees bearing leaves inscribed with philosophical principles, Llull illustrated the application of his logical system. These dialogues not only facilitated the dissemination of his ideas among lay audiences, but also embodied his commitment to interreligious understanding through rational discourse. Llull employed tree diagrams as a pedagogical tool to structure knowledge hierarchically. In The Tree of Science, 1295 to 1296, he organized disciplines into 16 trees, each representing a branch of knowledge from divine matters to earthly sciences. Each tree was segmented into roots, divine principles, trunks, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits, symbolizing the progression from foundational truths to specialized knowledge. This method showcased his vision of an interconnected universe where all knowledge emanates from and returns to the divine. To reach a broader audience, Llull crafted collections of proverbs in Catalan, such as the Book of 1000 Proverbs, 1302. These aphorisms distilled complex moral, theological, and philosophical concepts into succinct, memorable statements. The Proverbs covered diverse topics from ethical conduct to practical wisdom, reflecting his desire to infuse everyday life with spiritual and intellectual insight. Their concise and rhythmic nature facilitated oral transmission and underscored his emphasis on accessible education. Exploring narrative prose, Llull authored novels like Blanquerna and Felix. Blanquerna is considered one of the first major works of Catalan literature, blending romance with spiritual themes. It chronicles the protagonist's journey toward enlightenment, mirroring Llull's own spiritual quest. Felix is a didactic work where the titular character embarks on a voyage of knowledge, encountering various aspects of creation. Through these narratives, Llull integrated the art's principles into engaging stories, demonstrating the applicability of his logical system to all facets of human experience. Llull's influence extended beyond his lifetime, impacting theology, philosophy, and emerging scientific thought. During his lifetime, Llull's works met with mixed reactions. While some scholars recognized the innovativeness of the art, it did not gain widespread acceptance in academic circles, particularly at the University of Paris. However, his ideas found a receptive audience among certain monastic communities and intellectuals intrigued by his integrative approach to knowledge. Manuscript collections by Carthusian monks and theologians indicate a sustained, albeit niche, interest in his methodologies. Disciples like Thomas Le Maizière compiled and disseminated his works, ensuring their preservation and continued study. The Renaissance rekindled interest in Llull's works, with figures like Nicholas of Cusa embracing his ideas to advance mystical theology. Llull's influence permeated Italy, France, and Germany, where humanists sought universal systems of knowledge. His combinatorial logic prefigured aspects of Leibniz's De Arte Combinatoria, contributing to debates on universal languages and symbolic logic. Despite the rise of competing systems by Descartes and Ramus, Llull's art remained a reference point for discussions on the unification of knowledge. However, misunderstandings and misattributions, particularly in alchemical texts falsely credited to him, complicated his legacy. Despite Llull's lack of involvement in alchemy, numerous alchemical works were erroneously attributed to him, collectively known as the pseudo-Llull corpus. These texts, such as the Testamentum, gained popularity among alchemists like Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa and influenced the burgeoning field of early modern science. The misattribution reflects the allure of Llull's reputation for possessing profound, hidden knowledge. In modern times, scholars have re-evaluated these works, disentangling Llull's genuine contributions from pseudepigraphic additions. His actual influence on science is more accurately seen in his methodological innovations, which anticipated computational logic and combinatorial analysis, foundations integral to contemporary computer science and information theory. In 1314, Llull embarked on his final journey to North Africa, returning to Tunis to continue his mission of intellectual dialogue. Despite advancing age, his commitment remained unwavering. Records indicate that his last known work was completed in December 1315 in Tunis. The circumstances surrounding his death are not definitively documented. It is believed he died either in Tunis during his return voyage or shortly after arriving back in Majorca between late 1315 and early 1316. Llull was interred in the Church of San Francisco in Palma, where his tomb, crafted in 1448, stands as a testament to his enduring legacy. Centuries later, recognizing his extensive contributions to Christian thought and his life dedicated to the faith, Pope Pius IX beatified Ramon Llull on September 11, 1847. His feast day is commemorated on June 30th by the Third Order of St. Francis, honoring his life's work and spiritual impact. Ramon Llull's life epitomizes the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the desire to bridge disparate worlds through reason and faith. His development of the art was not merely an intellectual exercise, but a profound attempt to create a universal language of understanding. Llull's methodologies anticipated future advancements in logic, computation, and information theory, underscoring his status as a visionary ahead of his time. His works traverse theological boundaries, advocating for dialogue over discord and emphasizing the power of rational discourse in matters of faith. While his ideas faced resistance and were often misunderstood, Llull's legacy endured, influencing scholars across centuries, from the medieval mystics to modern computer scientists. Today, Ramon Llull is remembered not only as a devout missionary and philosopher, but also as a pioneer whose integrative approach to knowledge continues to inspire. His contributions serve as a reminder of the potential for human intellect to seek unity amidst diversity, and for logic and love to coexist in the relentless quest for truth. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Ramon Llull's remarkable journey. If you found this deep dive enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on the pioneers who shaped our intellectual heritage. Until next time.